later.
Fun.
Once you do, can you post the link over in the stream channel?
Yes, I have already. Let me copy that again into the stream channel.
The Dungeons and Dragons under social. Oh, you already did. Never mind.
Yeah, it's there again. So that we should be live now. So excellent.
Nicole, did we shut down the social channels as well? The game channels?
She walked away, but I think she wanted the social channels up, I think.
But
I don't know.
she shut them down.
The socials look up to me still.
There was nobody around, and so I just left the two that had passing interest. Nobody seemed to be interested in the others. So I can reopen them if people end up asking, but I figure the less I encourage single people to hang around, because most of the games need 4 people, the more likelihood that there'll actually be 4 people playing one game.
Okay, makes sense.
It's a good call. Sarthak, are you familiar with like Lord of the Rings or any of the fantasy novels or movies that have come out?
Harry Potter is the closest thing to this genre I'm aware of.
You are aware of it then?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's like that. Except nobody's Gandalf. You're all kind of like the hobbits because you're all 3rd level.
Okay. And like, where do we play it? Like, we just roll the dice.
Yeah, we might need to roll some dice sometimes. So if we do need to do that, there is an app. I will post the link so that you can just roll virtually. Hold on one sec. So I'll put it into the comments here. So that'll let you roll virtually polyhedral dice. The most important one is probably the D20. D20 is what we most commonly roll to see who's going first. If you're in combat, you roll a D20 to see if you've hit the enemy creature. Okay. So D20 can be fairly important. So who did I give you? Which character do you have?
Dragonborn sorcerer.
You're the Dragonborn sorcerer?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's gonna be great. What a way to learn.
That's funny because I could have sworn I gave that to Nicole, but maybe I messed this up. Let's make sure she's not also the Dragonborn sorcerer.
Twins.
You gave me an elf ranger.
Okay, so Sarthak, you're the Dragonborn sorcerer.
Woohoo!
Am I the special one?
All right, so I think we can probably go ahead and get started. Hopefully Senju is there and just on mute.
I'll keep coming online.
Okay.
I'm just there's a bit of noise problem that I'm trying to figure out why it's coming.
Okay. All right. So we have assembled the noble party of experienced adventurers. So we'll go and get started. I will probably make this maybe like 2 hours-ish long. We'll see. If somebody needs to go early, that's fine. We'll just kill your character. All right. So this assemblage of experienced, varied adventurers find themselves in a small town called Brookville. It's a small farming community, about 328 people according to the last census a few years ago. Spread out sparsely, there's a small town center. The town roughly takes about maybe 50 acres, roughly. And there are some people who live on the outskirts, but they're not part of the town, and they're very clear about that. So there's some eccentric farmers and woodsmen further out on the fringes. So the majority of people that live in Brookville, human, probably about 3/4. You have some halflings mixed in, couple of elves, half elf, maybe a dwarf here and there, a few others scattered about, more on the outskirts. So Brookville sits in the shadow of a large ruined castle. It's been ruined as long as anyone can remember. No one actually knows when the castle was in working order. The town itself is known for its lush farmland, its potent herbs. The mayor, Thomas Clapham, is a male human. He's fair and just, respected by most people of Brookville. The races live together mostly in harmony. It's a mostly pleasant place to live for a small farming community. The mayor, Thomas, is about 50. He has long, straight red hair, shaved on one side, piercing blue eyes. He's sort of a rough, sunburned skin. You've seen him since you've been in town the last day walking around. He kind of stands out. He's not very tall, though. He's only 5'2", not a tall man. Pretty athletic for a 50-year-old, though. He's kind of has an oval, bland face, kind of blends into the crowd. But he coughs a lot as he talks. You almost wonder if something's wrong with him. You noticed as you came into town a few days ago that there's no walls. Really wouldn't be anything to wall off from the town center. There's about 4 militia, roughly speaking, which are some peasants which have had about 2 weeks of training or so. They do have a sheriff. So that is Isabel Morningfall, a half-elf woman. You've seen her around conversing with the mayor as well. But at the moment, you're at the Murky Fox Ale House. You have not seen a Murky Fox yet, but you suspect there must be some based on the name of the tavern. The innkeeper here is Falk, 29 years old or so, you're guessing, not quite 30. He's very insistent he's not quite 30, like many of us of that age when we were 29. But he manages the ale house here. So that's where the party find themselves. You met up recently. Last night, you all kind of came together over a drinking competition. So many of you have felt better than you do today. But you've discovered that the dark ale that they serve here it may cause some digestive problems and possibly should be filtered more. But it was good, highly concentrated alcoholic dark ale. So you're here in Brookville, sort of getting to know each other and getting to know the town a little bit. You have heard some rumors as you've been in the inn that Bellathan, a farmer, may have some issues. You don't really know what it is, but you've sort of heard his name a little bit and being talked about. You think he's one of the people that lives on the outskirts, so doesn't really come into town that often. But that's where everyone is at the moment. So would anyone like to take any actions at this time or walk around or talk?
I don't want an action, but I want to know 2 things. Who won the drinking contest last night? And exactly how bad do I feel?
Sure. So what I'll need you to do is roll a Constitution check. So that will be the die 20. And then if she has a Constitution modifier, she'll add whatever the plus or minus is, depending on her score.
So I take my die and roll it. I get a nat 20. There's my nat 20 for the evening. +1, so a 21.
Wow. So after you won the drinking competition last night, you were given the 5 gold prize, which you thought was pretty generous for the size of this town. You are curious how often this drinking contest happens and who are all these poor people. You feel pretty good today. The ale, for whatever reason, didn't really have any negative effects for you, which is good. Some of your party members are not feeling so good. but of varying degrees. You had another question or action you wanted to do?
So based on the fact that I don't feel too bad, I am going to kind of look around and see, like, is everybody having fun? Is there a bard or anything playing music? What's going on? Anyone look sus?
So the only thing that you notice off the top of your head is that the sheriff is in there in one of the corners. Isabel Morningstar, a fairly youngish looking half elf. Again, you've seen her the last few days. She's always wearing her studded leather armor and carrying a dagger and a long sword and a long bow. She's got short, wavy black hair, brown eyes, smooth, white, pale elf skin. She's not very tall either. She's only 4'7", but has a very lean, athletic build. And some of you have noticed, some of you early risers have noticed she's always seemingly out in the morning with those couple militia people doing some training and exercises, which seems very strenuous for that time of day. So you see her in the corner. You don't know that there's anything particularly odd about the situation, but she does look a little pensive and concerned overall, but she's off in the corner by herself. The only other thing happening is that there is no bard available, but you've heard the bartender, Falk, tell a few people that that's because he is very sick. He attempted to participate in the drinking competition and did not fare very well. So apparently the halfling is in the barn, recovering. So that's the current situation. Would anybody else like to do anything at the moment?
Are we all sitting around the same table together?
You are. It's a fairly large table. So it's a big round table with about 10 chairs. So there's a few empty spots, but you all are at that table. The only other person that's joined you is one of the local farmers. He just kind of pulled up a chair by himself. So he's not really part of your group, but he's at your table. He's enjoying the beetroot soup with wild rice.
At the end of the table, this very large human with big, bright, shining chain of honor just kind of lifts his head up. Never challenge a bard to a drinking game. And his head just slams right back down.
Excellent.
I think you need to learn to drink more water between your beers during a drinking contest. You gotta pee like a horse afterwards, but you feel much better the next day.
Oberham's hand just kind of points it and puts his head back down.
Perfect. Okay. So about that time, the guy who was eating the soup kind of walks off, pays the bartender. You notice Isabel, the sheriff, kind of walking over towards you folks. And she says, you were all here last night, I believe. She looks at Nicole and says, congratulations on winning that. Impressive. Excellent. She turns one of the stools around, sits down. I have a bit of a problem, and there aren't a lot of problem solvers in the town, but you're not from the town, so you might be able to help if you're all right today. She looks at
I'm feeling okay. I'm not sure about the rest of them.
Are we going by our names? Is that what we're going to go by? Or is that our names?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, okay. So as soon as he hears the word help, he just kind of jumps up. He's like, oh, what? Help? Oh, yeah. We're here to help.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Fantastic news. Perfect. Yes. Help is what I need. So there's a problem. There's a problem. Well, maybe there's a problem. I don't even know if there is a problem. The problem needs identified first, I suppose. Pre-problem? So yes. So anyway, there's an half orc farmer, Bellathan. He lives on the outskirts. He doesn't come into town very much. We tell people that he's fine and friendly, but he's very large and intimidating. So he does scare a lot of the, humans. These things. So I kind of need someone to go talk to him and see what's going on at his farm. There's only 5 of us. I don't know if it's very serious. He's about 40 minutes to the north. You're not going to miss it because if you go 40 minutes to the north, there's his cabin. Like, there's not going to be anything else there. Could you go find out what's going on and like come back? Is that possible?
Stands again, cleans himself up, and he's like, if there was a problem, we will solve it. Give us the task so we can resolve it.
Is that
My pirate character just jumps in and has a frown on his face. He is not happy at all because he has to move. He's just sitting on the table, just relaxing. In a gruff piratey voice, he says, "What's in it for me?"
I mean, I'll give everybody 10 silver just to find out what's happening. I just don't have a lot of manpower, and if it's serious, I don't want to not help him, but I don't even know exactly what's going on. There's just some rumors.
What shape did the rumors have?
So weird things happening. That's the rumor we're getting. So okay, so Bellathan, the farmer, told Nancy, who's like a kid, like a 12-year-old kid who was like playing up there. So like she relayed the message to Thomas, the mayor. So Thomas then told me, do you see some of the problem now? That there was like weird noises and lights or something where it seems very unusual. So I don't have a lot of information to go on. Is that 4th hand, 3 hands? However many hands the message has passed now, it's just not a lot. So if I can pay you all some silver to at least find out what's happening and like check on him to make sure he's okay, that would be very helpful.
Well, members of Lord's Alliance, we don't work for money. We work for gratitude.
I like you.
So he's working for free, and then I point over at Senju, and I think he'll take his share.
Exactly. And I can take anyone else's who wants to give away their money. Money always works well.
So,
But okay, if it's just go find out what's happening and report back, I think we can investigate and check for noises in the woods. That sounds easy enough.
excellent.
And my character looks glaringly at the villager who asked us, and without having paid attention to his name or their name, simply says, I would be expecting payment in kind if it's more than just talking.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, there could be, reimbursement expenses, some paperwork, that's fine. The normal. We're a small town, but we have an office.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I am ready to serve. And he just kind of picks up his sword and puts it over his shoulder.
All right. Okay, so
I guess I'll go pay my tab first before we march out without, skipping on the bill.
Nice.
Good person.
Yeah, so Isabel says, yeah, about 45 minutes to the north. Again, you're not going to be able to miss it. Okay. All right, she stands up and walks out of the inn to go do other sheriff things. You guys pay Falk Hemsworth, the innkeeper, for the food and drinks. And I guess you're all heading out. And I mean, does anybody you need anything before you go? Want to visit any shops? You've seen a couple of shops in town.
Before Dick kind of walks out, he turns to all the people in the bar and he goes, "Just remember one thing: eat your vegetables, stay in school, be good to your fellow neighbor." And just turns out and walks away. He hears a bunch of groans on his way out.
You hear one guy say, "That's a weird guy." All right.
I'm going to assume I have the basic adventurers kit plus the
Sure.
weapons that I can
Yeah.
wield. Yeah, okay, then
Yeah.
I'm probably fine.
Okay. All right. So you guys start to head north. You think north. You do have a ranger who probably should.
I know which way is north. What
North.
check do you want me to make?
Let's see. You got your skills on there. What do we have? What makes the most sense?
Probably survival.
Yeah. That's good.
20 dirty.
20? All right. You guys get in. The ranger's like, it's this way. All right, you start going. Some of you.
I would like to think that I came out and the fighter had started in a slightly wrong direction. And I'm like, it's that way.
Absolutely. The fighter just started walking somewhere and you're like, north. And he's like, obviously. Perfect. So you guys start heading out. Yeah, again, it's not that long. 45 minutes. Kind of. There's a little bit of a trail. You're pretty sure it's actually like an animal trail that people have now also been using. So it's lightly forested. There's obviously some fields. Some of them are currently being used. Some of them are the rotational fields, so they're empty. 45 minutes goes by pretty uneventfully. And you see up ahead sort of a log cabin, a large-ish log cabin, and you can see a fairly large individual sort of off to the side doing something. It's kind of around the corner. You're not sure. Maybe he's repairing something in like a little shed area. It's a pretty tall, big person.
Is he the right color for the person we're looking for? Or I should say the orc we're looking for.
Yeah, you get a little bit closer, and it's clearly a half orc, and he's equipped in farming attire, so pretty standard. He from the distance you can tell he's got long curly black hair. It's pretty interesting, you think. Pretty tan skin, like obviously outdoors a lot. You're guessing about 6'3", like 240. This is a very large person. So you guys you walk up, you call out.
How close are we to this building at this moment?
30 yards.
30 yards. I kind of go, hold! I put my hand up and go, do you want me to sense some evil around here? What do you think?
I'll just hang back and let you do what you want. I don't really care.
Just kind of look back. No one responds to me, and I'm like,
it's a farmer.
But there could be evil.
How about we ask the farmer what he saw first, and you detect evil in the direction of what he saw?
Why don't I just sneak up there and see what he's actually doing?
Sure.
I mean, how about we give you a head start, and then we'll just keep walking slowly?
He kind of puts his hand back down and he goes, okay, I'll wait.
Okay. Do you want to roll your sneak roll for us? Or stealth? I just put stealth in this system.
I tried to roll this dice, but it's
on the dice roller.
Yeah, I've never tried this dice roller.
Yeah, so
if you also just hit google.com and type in roll a d20, it'll roll one for you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it will,
Look
huh?
at that. 7.
A 7. Okay.
Now I'm wondering if I'm feeling okay.
So you're like sneaking up there, trying to see what he's doing, and then you're like, you just belch out 10 yards behind him, and he spins around. Oi! What? Why? Who? What is happening? What? Who are you all?
We were like very slowly walking. And so we just wave, and it just looks like she is much faster than the rest of us.
Hello, I'm Bellathim.
Hi,
Are you
Bellatin.
are you robbing me?
No.
Good. That's happened
We-
before.
By who? Point me in the right direction.
They're dead.
Oh,
Well, they
kind of
deserved
looks
it.
around for the. I'm looking around for the bodies now. I'm like,
7 years ago.
So hopefully they're not still out on the ground.
Oh,
did the dead bodies come back and rob you?
not lately.
Okay, it's still kind of very slowly looking around.
So what are you up to?
Fixing this thing. He has a pitchfork. It's broke.
We heard that there was some trouble. One of the girls came to town and relayed a message.
Yes. Big trouble, maybe. So, I'm out doing farming things in the farm with corn, mostly corn. It's delicious. So, in the north of here, sometimes in the evening, there's weird, strange things. So, like, goblin, normal, just a little goblin, scare him away. But like now, more noises. I don't know what's happening. It's very. I just come home and lock the door. Like more robbers. Well, why would they be making noise? They'd be sneaky, but better than you. And he points at you. Like less belchy, more sneaky. But I don't know. So, to the north, a mile. How far is that? Maybe a mile. And I need someone should go look. I wanted the sheriff. She doesn't come this far. Too far away.
Yeah, she couldn't come out here, so she asked us to go look. So it
Your
was
sheriffs.
no, we are travelers who the sheriff asked to look at the noises.
Sheriff helpers.
In the
Perfect.
distance, you see the paladin. He's just walking around with his holy water, and he's flicking it all around, going, "You can't have zombies robbing people." And he's just flicking it in all these different directions.
Yeah. No robbing zombies. Perfect. So you can go see what's happening.
Sure, we can take a look, but tell us again. You said it was noises a mile
Yeah,
north
so-
of here.
So once in a while in the evening, if it got too late, I'll see like the little goblin people, one or two. I normally just yell at them and they run away. They're scared of me. So it's because I'm very tall. And they're very short. So I mean short is fine, but it is helpful because they are scared. But sometimes I think there's more of them. But why would they be here? Why would more of them be here? This is my farm. They can't have my corn. And if they are making noises, then they need more scared away, farther away, too close to my farm. It's not okay. But if there's too many of them, then what will I do? I asked the sheriff to look, and she sends sheriff helpers.
I want to use my perception skills to find out if he's really worried about this.
Okay. Here we go.
$11.
Now, is that adding your perception skill?
My perception skill says +5.
Oh, so 16 total?
Yeah.
All right, great. 16. I mean, from what you can perceive, he seems pretty genuine that he would just be scared if there's like a whole bunch more goblins and like maybe he can't fend them all off. I mean, even for a pretty big, tough half-orc farmer, you know, at some point, overwhelming numbers could be in trouble. He could be in trouble. You're not sure what he thinks overwhelming numbers might be, you know, but if there's like 20 goblins, it could be pretty bad.
So I kind of give everybody a look with like the raised eyebrow of like, do we want to go north? Question mark.
Paladin walks back up and he's like, look, I took care of the zombie thieves, so if we got to go for these other ones, I'm down. Let's go.
The zombie thieves.
You can't have zombie thieves out here.
He's yes.
All right. I guess
He's
we're
like tasting where you put holy water to see if it has a
So I'll kind of give him like a little bow and be like, thank you, and start walking to the north again. Is there still more of, like you were saying, there was like a game trail? Is there once again kind of a trail through the fields, or is it all just corn?
Make a survival check. See what you can find.
As they're
I'd
walking
say
away, he kind of just flicks
15.
silver to the farmer too. He's like, take care of yourself. Bing, and flicks him a silver coin.
Okay.
I try to
18
catch the
survival?
silver coin. Can I catch the silver coin midair?
You can try. That's probably
a dex or
Yeah.
Dex check.
yeah. We'll
Is
do a
it
dex
dex?
check.
Oh damn,
I love it.
Dex is bad for me.
What's even better was that he just flicks it, doesn't even look, so he can catch out of you. He just goes,
And-
take care of yourself, and flicks it and walks away.
depending on your roll, I could see you reaching for it and the rogue just going like yoink.
All right, I got a crit 20, but I've got a disadvantage on my dex.
So it's 20 minus a number.
Yeah, let me look up my sheet.
What's the minus?
It's -1.
All right, so 19. So you still managed to somehow miraculously do the most athletic thing you've probably ever done in like 3 years and like snatch the coin out of the air.
There was some motivation there.
Yeah, you were like, that's money.
Yes, so you can see my character with a shield on, running towards the coin and just grabbing it in the most funniest way
Yeah,
possible.
you're like, I mean, it was like,
Right. It was either the shield or the money, but I kept both.
yeah, it's good. The very strange people. The farmer says, I need to make dinner. He goes inside. All right, but you got an 18 on your survival for looking for the
15.
trail. 15? Okay. So yeah, after a few minutes, you do find what looks like a path. So I mean, it's at least sporadically used either by animals or some humanoid creatures. So you start heading in that general direction, which is generally leading north. So you go for about maybe like 20 or 30 minutes. You can make another survival check.
All right, let's see if I lose the trail. That is very possible. 14.
You don't lose the trail. It's gotten a little thicker, a little less used. You notice that ahead of you, as you're following it, though, there's animal footprints now. You're definitely seeing, you're gonna say wolf. You're definitely gonna say wolf at this point. And like pretty fresh.
I'm going to kind of pause for a second, look at the wolf prints, and kind of give a look around, and I'm like, seems like there's some wolves around. Do you think he would have mistaken wolves for goblins?
I don't think so. That seems pretty far-fetched.
I mean, he didn't say he actually saw them. He just heard noises, right?
Oh. Noises of wolves seem like that would be something you could pick out.
True. All right, so I guess we should just be careful because there's definitely, and I kind of point to the area, some wolves that were around here recently. I'll keep.
The paladin walks up behind. He didn't actually hear what they said it was. What do we think we found here?
Wolf prints?
Wolves! And he just, whoever's next to him, the next two people, he immediately casts heroism on them. He's like, but don't worry, we can do this. And he casts hero on whoever's next to him. So choose, I don't care which ones. He just reaches out and goes, wolves, no! And he grabs them, which then makes them immune to being frightened, and they both gain 4 temporary hit points.
All right, so everybody's like, I think it could be wolves. Do you think he could have mistaken wolves? And you're having this conversation, and the paladin's like, wolves! And like screams and casts a spell. And you guys definitely hear things nearby.
The cleric immediately goes into puts up his shields, goes really quiet, really soon, and also throws a really dirty look towards the paladin, saying, "You have no sense of danger. It could be."
What
what was the thing?
The wolves? Yeah. With his hand still on his shoulder, like he's not even paying attention. He's like, you can never be too safe. He hasn't like let his shoulder yet go though. So he's glaring at it with his hand on his shoulder, like, you can never be too safe.
Good. Perfect. All right. So everyone can make a perception check. So we'll roll the 1d20, and then you should have perception as a skill.
I get 16 plus 5.
Woo. 21.
I have 17.
All right.
I have passive perception of 15.
Ooh.
And then what do I do with my roll? I got a 3 on my roll.
If you would add your perception, but I don't think you're just staring at the paladin, so you don't see anything. You're staring at the paladin and your silver coin you caught.
Just his giant metal covered hand is holding on to, because the metal I have is also very shiny. You're just staring at this
You
giant.
thought you were
brilliantly-
holding his shoulder, but you're holding his face.
Yeah, just kind of keeping him protected. Just listen to me. You have to be safe.
All right, Nicole, did you roll perception?
I got a 19.
All right, so a 19 and a 21. So Nicole and Fictional Robot are both like, there's a wolf approaching the group, like 10 yards away maybe from the front. It's not like a gigantic wolf. It's not a zombie wolf, but just a wolf.
The paladin
Is there anybody
shield goes, I
riding
told
the
you, and he's
wolf?
just gonna start running towards it with his sword out.
All right. So the paladin just immediately takes off towards the wolf.
I am going to shake my head and let the paladin run towards the wolf.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. What?
These things called bows. You don't have to
You
get
hear
in
this,
his
just
face.
him running. You hear him yelling as he's going, "The Lord's Alliance!"
Perfect. All right. That's gonna be the first thing that happens. Like you find the wolf, and you're so eager to go. Like the wolf doesn't even know what was happening at this point. So you get to attack the wolf first. So you can roll to hit with whatever your main attack is.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it with my longsword. So that
Okay.
is 17.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
Okay.
So you got some damage there. What are you wielding?
D8.
1d8?
So 8 plus 3, so 8 times 11.
11. You almost cleave the wolf in half. It's very badly damaged at this point.
And you just, again, from the front, you just hear him, "Be gone, evildoer!"
And the wolf flees as fast as it can. It's pretty badly damaged. All right. So Paladin runs up, like just hammers into this wolf, gets a fantastic shot on it through its side. There's like blood all over the place. The next thing you know, the wolf is like, and like running off into the woods.
And he just turns around and he's just like, it's safe. It's safe. It's okay. It's okay. Whew. I got it. You guys are safe.
Wolves travel in packs usually, right?
We're safer now. Everything's safer now. Whew. He kind of pulls the sword up and he just goes, oh man, and he doesn't like that it's like covered in blood. So he's immediately like,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
All right. Nicole, as the ranger, can you make another perception check?
Yeah, I am suspicious there is a pack of wolves and now they're not pleased. So that's nat 20 plus 5, so 25 to figure out where the pack is that's going to eat us.
Wow. Well, what you actually notice with that is as you're watching the wolf run off, is that in this immediate area you're in, you realize it wasn't, you see some other tracks, some other small boot tracks of a small humanoid-like creature that does lead in the direction that the wolf kind of wandered off towards.
I am not going to announce this to the fighter. I'm going to subtly whisper this to, let's see, who's closer, fictional robot or Senju?
Fictional robot.
So there appears to be small booted creatures, maybe goblins. Don't tell the fighter.
That's excellent. That could be what we're looking for.
Well, let's continue that way a little stealthier this time and find out.
Okay. So you guys continue on sort of in the direction where the wolf went. So you go about another 10 or 15 minutes without really seeing much. And then what's pretty obvious is some sort of like cavern opening. Like there's a little bit of a rise and like you can see a cave opening. It's not a huge opening, but it's definitely there. It is now also dusk and the sun is starting to set. You're going to have to make a decision about whether you push right on or whether you want to go back to town first or what the next step is.
I have dark vision, so I'm like YOLO unless somebody stops me.
Red Sea, Jagon's just kind of looking around going, does anybody need healing?
No, I think you took care of that wolf for us, but the tracks, and I'm vague about what tracks in case he gets excited again, led toward this cave.
What cave?
That one right there.
And he immediately sees the cave and goes, cave! And he immediately casts protection for whoever's next to him.
Is there like a roll to dodge?
But you can try to dodge out of the way if you want.
I mean, I don't know what spells he's casting. Like, what's going to happen? Maybe I'm going to fly. I don't know.
It's true. Do you want to try and dodge out of the way with a dex save?
I will see. I'm pretty dexterous. No, I am not. That's not a 1, but I didn't dodge diddly.
Good. All right.
Each time
flinching.
Each time the paladin tries to put out a spell, I kind of try to come in the way of the spell so that I get some of the benefits. Just looking out for myself. So each time, imagine a shield holder just running towards wherever the direction of the spell is.
So he reaches over, misses one, and then sees you coming, and he goes, "Yes, you!" And put your hand right in your face again.
That's all right. I frown, but I'll take the spell.
Excellent.
Then he just kind of whispers and goes, You could never be too safe when it comes to a cave.
This is true. So, are we going towards the cave, or are we going to go back and report for now? That's the question.
I would like to see if the injured wolf, I'm assuming, did it leave blood and did it go back in the cave? Can I see that?
Okay. I think our ranger probably needs to do a survival check to see about that.
12.
12. There's definitely blood in the area that's very fresh, which you assume is probably from the wolf. But sort of near this area, you can't tell if it went into the cave or if it went somewhere else.
Does anyone of us have camping equipment?
Everybody has like the basic camping equipment. Sure.
I suggest we light up a fire and sit right at the mouth of the cave.
We don't know. And I kind of like point out to you. Actually, revision. Is there little footy prints here other than wolf, or is it just wolfy prints?
You see wolf prints and booted small footprints in this area.
So I will point out to you. We'll see if your perception gets it. We don't know how many of them there are. Do you really want to get an unknown number of critters out of the cave?
And you just hear me yell, "Them who?"
Small booted figures.
Small booted wolves! And he just caves and small booted wolves. You can never be too safe.
The wolves had figured out boot making. They've evolved.
This is an astonishing thing. We must talk. We must tell everyone. You can't trust a wolf with a boot on.
Just like my granddad used to say. What?
Famous wives' tale.
Never trust a booted wolf.
I'd like to investigate the opening of that cave.
Okay. Do you want to try to sneak up there?
Yeah.
With your stealth? All right. Oh, no.
2 +5.
We all just kind of slowly watch as she just walks over. They just walk up to the cave, just like.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna sneak over there, and just like walks up.
Yeah, and we're all just staring, watching, like, okay.
Okay, excellent.
That's the second time I have not been stealthy.
Right. You like kind of walk up there, and like you're getting pretty much close to it, and like just step on the branch, and it's like crack right there, and you're like right at the mouth of the cave.
Okay.
You definitely hear some voices from inside.
Okay, so how about perception?
All right, roll perception.
18 and 5. 23.
Yeah, that's pretty high. So like you're standing in the mouth of the cave, and you're like listening. You definitely can hear voices. What languages do you speak? That should be at the top of the page on the right, I think, in this format.
It's not there.
Let me see here.
It's below your armor and weapons and above your actions. There should be at least common.
Yeah, where is it not listed on your sheet?
Oh, there. I can see. So common, halfling, thieves can't.
Okay. So yeah, you're not sure what language is being spoken. It just kind of sounds like weird mumbly, like, you know. So you're not sure what's being said. You can definitely hear at least 2 or 3 different voices, but you're not sure what they're saying.
Okay. Then I whisper to the team and say I can hear some mumblings that I don't know what's in there.
Okay.
Do you think they're evil mumblings?
And I turn to. Oop, I'm getting feedback. And I'm like, now you can detect good and evil.
Ooh, I like that. So he's gonna slowly walk himself up again, trying to make it himself, but he's just kind of, and he's gonna cast Divine Sense. And
All right,
that-
you.
So what essentially
walk-
does, it gives you 60 feet. I can tell whether or not something is, if I sense strong evil or powerful good, and I know the location of something's a celestial, a fiend, or undead.
Okay, so you very stealthily walk up to the mouth of the cave in all of your gear to stand next to the rogue, and there's definitely some evil on the periphery of what you can detect. There's some like minor, like petty crime evil, maybe a little closer, but there's like felony evil deeper in the cave.
He just kind of puts his hand right over a fictional robot, like kind of finds the head and goes, cast heroism. He goes, "Poof, there's evil."
That gets my attention. I will
And he
pull
kind of looks back
out
and goes,
my bow.
Evil! We've got evil!
Okay, at this point, even you can hear some voices from in the cave because they're getting closer.
How far is the opening from where I'm standing?
5 feet?
Is it dark? Is it just like a dark opening?
Yeah.
The Paladin just goes, evil! And he pulls out his javelin and just throws it into the hole of the cave.
All right, roll a die 20. That's amazing.
4.
4. Okay, that's funny. I'm gonna need the rogue to make a reflex save to not get javelined, to like dodge out of the way. So you'll roll a die 20 and then add your dexterity modifier.
In the scramble, he actually threw with his offhand. So it's like, oh!
So confusing. I didn't even know. I didn't even think. It was my left hand. I don't use that for anything.
So I roll a 2, get 5, so that's 15 or 7.
7.
It's a
You're
7.
like, you don't like, he's like throwing stuff and you're jumping out of the way and the javelin like just misses your head and just like barely dings you for like 1 hit point of damage, but it could have been a lot worse.
And he just kind of looks around. It's like, oh, there was evil right there. Watch out. Evil. Lots of evil. Get it? You never know when they're going to get too close.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. All right. There's definitely noises from the cave that's getting closer now. And is anybody else going to do anything at this moment?
I'm going to get out my longbow and ready a arrow.
Okay. Perfect.
Do I so is there something that I can passively perceive at this point of time?
You
around
can roll
me.
perception, but it is. So you're playing a human cleric? Is that correct?
Yeah. My
so-
passive is 15. So
Okay.
just from that, do I see anything?
No, it's dark in the cave, so you really can't see anything.
Right. All right. So I'll get my long sword ready
Okay.
I'll get mine.
and shield ready,
Okay.
and I'll just stay one step behind the paladin.
It's a good plan.
So
All right. Good.
I just got to say back, tuck in, my friend.
You're willingly the meat shield.
I'll get my short sword.
All right. And about as you pull out your short sword to get ready, you guys see 3 goblins like right in front of you because it's fine. They kind of like got through the darkness. There's just a hint of sunlight left over the horizon, so you can finally see just a little bit, but it's really dark in the cave. So 3 goblins come out. So there's basically 2 right in front of the paladin and 1 in front of the rogue. So let's see here. So you guys actually have the initiative because they're very surprised by whatever is happening and did not expect a whole bunch of people at the mouth of the cave. So we're going to have the rogue go first, and then it's going to be the paladin's action, and then Senju, and then Nicole. But basically, a goblin like runs right up in front of you and kind of like just looking up. They are armed with, what do they have? Just little short swords.
All right, I have a short sword too, so I
Okay.
brandished my weapon. I rolled a 20. I wasn't planning on hurting them yet, so I was just gonna look menacingly at them.
Well, you're pretty sure they're going to hurt you, so it's probably wise to attack, but it is up to you.
Okay, then I will attack.
Okay. And you rolled a 20?
Yeah,
It's probably higher. You probably have
I have a
Yeah.
weapon, short sword weapon attack plus 5 to hit.
yeah, that's a 25. This goblin comes running out, kind of stops, and you're like, boom, like right in the neck, like perfect aim. So you should have damage on there, which is you would roll the 1d20, or sorry, you would roll the whatever that damage number is. Let me pull up your sheet here.
So it says 1d6 plus 3 piercing damage.
Yeah, so you would roll a 1d6 and then add 3.
Okay, so the die is 4, so that's a 7.
Yeah, so like you just like shank this goblin right in the neck, and he falls to the ground dead.
Cool.
All right, the paladin has a similar issue, but with 2 goblins, as they like ran right up to you. But again, they're caught unaware. They were not expecting paladin and all of you to be right at their doorstep. So you get to act next.
Because he threw the javelin, he didn't have a chance to declare his weapon sacred. So as they're running at him, he just goes, "By my oath, I shall smite thee!" And he casts sacred weapon on his weapon, which begins to glow about 20 feet out. It's just a giant bright glow that it's very beautiful. And he just kind of stands there with his shield up, and he goes, "Have at thee!" And that's pretty much all I'm going to do.
Ah! The goblins are like screaming and yelling, and nobody knows what's going on.
Be in
Right.
fear of the Lord.
Senju, you're up next behind the very shiny paladin now.
Quick check on what race is a paladin again?
He's human.
Human.
Oh, he's human. All right.
So he can see in the
all right.
cave now since he cast
Right.
this bright spell.
Right. I would just like to use my longsword to hit hard on my shield just to create just a lot of noise.
Okay.
What do you
Alright.
want me to roll?
To make a lot of noise. I'm not sure I necessarily need you to roll a ton to do that. So yeah, you're just trying to make a lot of noise, like to be distracting. Is that kind of what you're trying to do?
Right. So the paladin has got 2 things in front of him.
Right.
He's already. So with the light, it could be a flashbang now, right? So that's the
Right.
intention. So I'm trying to do the bang portion of the flash.
So it's a
All right,
bright light,
yeah.
just a bing, bing.
Yeah,
bing.
you're like making a whole bunch of noise. I don't need you to make a roll for that. And you're like clanging armor and stuff together.
But even the paladin's like, "Oh God, what are you doing back there?"
Right. And the goblins are like yelling more. And Nicole, you're gonna shoot one of them.
That is what I want to do.
Okay.
Do I get like advantage or anything since they just got flashbanged?
Yeah, that sounds good. We can play with that rule. Yeah.
Cool, because I rolled 2 crappy dice. So let's see, longbow gets +7, so 16 to hit.
Yeah, that hits one of them.
All right, so that's gonna do 8 points of damage, and I'm gonna go for, if I'm assuming there's 2 people right in front of the 2. And I'm behind So can I like shoot at the one that's in front of the rogue?
The
Or
one in front of the rogue, she killed. It's dead.
okay, so never mind. The one on the rogue side of the
Sure.
paladin.
Yeah. Yeah, you shoot the one that's slightly closer to where the rogue was, and he's down. So there's only one goblin standing at this point. So it's the goblin's turn, and he just like goes, ah, and like runs back into the cave. All right. What
as
are
a
you
cleric-
doing now?
The
Cleric,
ranger kind of just
I-
stands there, or the paladin kind of stands up with his sword. It's glowing. He's just like, okay, and it's just the sword's still just glowing brightly next to him. Just like, that's right, evildoer.
Perfect.
So I kind of turn towards the ranger and say, "Shoot, shoot! What are you waiting for? Shoot!"
I mean, he's in the cave. I feel like we can wait for him to come out. Although you said there were lots of them. Like, could you tell if there was more than 3?
The paladin raises his hand and goes, or we can go in after them.
Do you know how many there are?
We can see
No.
inside the cave now.
A little bit because of the bright, shiny object, but it kind of winds back through. So not.
I kind of edge the paladin on and say, "Why don't you throw the shiny stick in the cave? We can see better."
I can't throw this into the what? Never. But I will. And he kind of just starts to slowly go, but I'll check it out. He just kind of slowly starts walking towards the cave with his sword directly in front of him.
Good.
I guess we are going directly into where there is an unknown number of goblins. Great plan.
You hear him echoing to the evildoers. Show thyself.
As you're yelling, now you're yelling as you go into the cave as well.
Yep. Yes.
All right.
We're going to find out how many of them there are real soon.
Perfect. All right. So you start going in there, and you can hear noises in the back. I'm not sure what. Some of it you're assuming must be goblins yelling at each other or yelling. The cave kind of like becomes a bit of a tunnel and like kind of goes down to the left, and I don't know, like the front part, there's just some like debris and stuff in the front part of it, but you like, are you going to go into the tunnel some more a little bit? I mean, it's big enough, like it's 10 by 10. It's not like a little tunnel.
I'll say I've gone at least far enough to where my voice is echoing out of the tunnel, so they can just hear me being like, "I don't see anything."
Good. Everybody can make a perception check.
7.
Excellent.
14.
14. Okay.
Does my passive help, or do I just use the normal?
Yeah, you would just roll in this case.
So I got a 2, and that's a +5, so I got a 7.
7. Good.
I got 25.
25. Wow. All right.
You perceive everything.
You perceive everything. So
Yeah,
like
you see 2 seconds in the future.
you would swear you heard something roar. You're the only one who heard it.
Hey, I just heard something roar.
I just heard goblins. What kind of roar did you hear?
The paladin is far ahead of us, right? He cannot hear this.
I would say I'm pretty far ahead. I would assume.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, he didn't hear anything. He's all like, evil doers.
And you see the light glow at the end of the tunnel. Just
Maybe there's danger in the cave. We need to worry about the paladin. Could be a lion.
Did it sound like a lion?
Did it sound like a lion, John?
Make a wisdom roll.
you hear yelling out from the cave. I don't see any little wolf boots.
I've checked all the debris.
18 plus Well, I don't have a plus on wisdom, but it says the skill 12 plus is a +1, but there's nothing on my skills.
Yeah, so it would be +1 for this type of check.
Okay. So 19.
19, that's very high. You've seen a lion. There was like a small town and there was like a circus thing, and like that sounds like a giant kitty cat. This was like weird. You've never heard a roar like this before. It sounded bad. And not like a lion.
There's some kind of evil in this cave. We need to be really worried. It is terrible. And it's not a lion. Nothing I've ever heard before.
Has it been about a minute?
Oh yeah.
Just the light go
So
out.
you just see the light just you hear. Well, that sucks.
Oh no.
What was our original objective? Did we achieve it?
She wanted to know what was going on, so we could go back with a vague roar as the. I mean, we could have also quietly sat outside the cave to see if we could have identified it.
Right.
So
I would go ahead.
I can cast Primeval Awareness, which will let me know if there is a aberration, celestial, dragon, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead. I'm gonna do that.
And you hear the paladin inside there just stepping around and crashing into things like woods falling over. You just hear, oh God, oh Jesus.
I'm definitely gonna do that and then tell him to GTFO if any of those pop positive.
Yeah, you managed to like step on a broom and smack yourself in the face and everything, trying to get out of the cave. All right, so you cast that spell. Does it tell you which one of those things? Or just one of them?
One and sense which of so I think so within 1 mile or within 6 miles if I'm in a forest, but I think we're in fields, not a forest. So within 1 mile I can tell if it is one of those, but I can't tell the number. So it's aberration, celestial, dragon,
I
elemental.
sent you a private chat, but I don't know if that's private to everybody or not.
That's I don't know.
Just everybody.
I can see it.
Oh.
So all
Well,
right.
you're the only
So
one that knows.
I can see into the dark because I have dark vision. So I like go look at the two of them and I'm like, get away from here now. And I like try and sneak in to grab the fighter
like,
and be like,
this way, buddy.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, come on, shh, this way. Shh. I'm like shhing you the whole time.
You're like, okay, I got it. I'm gonna be quiet. Quiet. My spear.
I'm attempting to avoid him stepping on the crunchiest of things.
Yes. All right. You get out of the cave. You guys get a little bit further away from the cave, like 30 yards.
Once we're like out of the cave, you said it was dusk, so like the rest of them probably can't see great, but it's a field, so probably not too badly. I'm like, there's a dragon in there. We need to get back to town now. We need backup.
That sounds great. And then we can tell the sheriff what's going on.
Right, we found out what it is. Let's go.
Oh wait! Oh, what did you say?
There's a dragon.
He puts his hands out, and then except now he's like running around, making sure he touches everybody. He's like, and he casts heroism on everybody.
I will not decline that this time.
And before he even finishes, he turns around.
Yeah,
he casts Sacred Weapon on his weapon again. It
way.
glows. He's like, "There's a dragon!"
To town. We're going back to town.
I think everyone else starts walking back to town at least.
He's just slowly walking backwards with his sword in front of him, facing the cave.
You're ready.
Yeah.
It's rear guard, obviously. Common military tactic.
It's safe. Move on.
All right. You like throw up some hand signals that no one else has any idea what you're talking about. Everyone's just walking in a line still.
quickly. And
You're like, but in the Paladin Field Manual 1-3 should be in a V formation.
And always assume that evil sneaks up from behind.
All right, so you guys are. It is dark now, and you're headed south back to town. All right.
quickly and as minimally crunching on things as possible.
Yeah, about an hour and 40 minutes later, you guys get back into town. There was no issues and no problems.
Where
is
does that
Dark now.
sheriff lady usually hang out? Is there like a sheriff's house in this town, or a where would one report something at this hour if one needed to report?
Yeah, you
Something.
recall that she talked about the office. So like you guys are kind of like in the town center, which is all of like, 15 buildings. And like there's one building that like has some candles lit inside of it. And like so you kind of like walk over to that one, and it seems like a very official building. It like literally above the door it says the office. Like so it looks like there's at least someone in there. You guys knock.
Unless there's like an open come in sign, I'll knock first.
No. So you knock, and like a very skinny teenager looking kid who like sort of has some armor on and like was obviously just sleeping is like, yes? What?
There is a dragon.
Raise the alarm!
That's all I got out.
And the paladin goes, Sheriff, we need to talk to you.
Oh, I can go get her.
I think a dragon probably warrants yes, please.
That person just faints.
Well, crap.
Paladin looks over the cleric and goes, that wasn't the sheriff, right?
No, this is just
no.
like one of the militia people.
I will step over fainted person and go into the office. Is there any other humans in the office? Or
there's
non-humans?
another person on a cot who's asleep.
Excuse me?
That person is like gets up. Yeah, hello. What? Yes.
Your compatriot fainted. We need to talk to the sheriff. There's a dragon.
What?
Sheriff, please.
Okay. Try to wake him up. I guess I'll go get her. And he like runs over, trips over his friend, falls down, gets back up, runs out the door, runs back, grabs his pants, puts his pants on, runs back out.
A true person of honor.
So he's only gone like a few minutes. So she must be in one of the main houses here in town. Maybe like 10 minutes, if that. So they come back. And she's like
Is
in
fictional
already like
robot
full
still
armor,
covered
full
in
kitted.
blood?
What?
Is fictional robot still splashed with blood from the murderating earlier?
I mean, it was somewhat cleaned up.
Okay. I might, if there's like a cloth around, I might try and reduce the amount of blood on everyone before she gets back.
Yeah.
I hand out cloths.
In
There's
the
some-
No
meantime,
thanks, I have my
the
own.
The cleric's trying to slap the guy who is fainted up awake. He's like doing a good job slapping.
I
He's just having fun
Ask
with it.
you in that questioning voice, like, is that the right way to get a fainted person up? Like, this is not my forte. So I'm just asking it in that, like, never seen that before way.
That's what we did at the sea, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets up after like 3 slaps. He's awake. He's good.
But I put in one more just for extra
Just
measure,
okay.
right?
No,
And I
that's fair.
kind of nod, like, apparently this is how you get a fainted person up.
Right. We've all learned something today. All right.
Paladin's
So
like, we all celebrate in our own ways.
the sheriff comes back. She says, I'll just hear from you all what is happening.
You wanted us to find out what was making the noises.
Yeah.
It's a dragon.
It's a
10 silvers, please.
Also, not just a dragon, an evil dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's other kinds. I'm not an expert. Yes, the she says, Pete, get the money. Um, s- did you saw it?
I, as one of my skills, can detect undead, fiends, and dragons, and I know that it was a dragon, and he can detect good and evil, and he knows that it was a evil dragon, which seemed to have a bunch of goblins as attendants, staff. I don't know. That's
Don't
the
forget
ones we
about the
ran
wolves
into.
with little boots.
And I
What?
just nod. There were wolves, and there
Okay.
were
The rogue.
goblins.
The rogue heard a roar too. Where's the silver?
Yeah. Pete hands out all the gold, all the silver.
What
I'll take
kind
the
of
one for the paladin too.
the
So
Yeah,
I need to
it
leave.
lands in my
theatrical?
hand, and before it even finishes, he grabs it. I'm
It's
like,
just a joint.
for you.
If I were going to attempt to mimic a dragon roar, being that I have that favorite enemy of dragon, what kind of check would that be?
I think survival. You're rolling a lot of survival, but I think it's survival.
All right. So I'm gonna go to fictional robot, and I'm gonna be like, just to confirm, we heard a not bad, like a 13 on the thing to go like a
Okay.
roar.
When the roar comes out, he just grabs the cleric and casts heroism on him.
Good. Perfect.
Yes, we heard a roar. We know that the dragon is alive.
We only heard one roar though, right?
That is correct. We didn't stick around.
Hmm.
So we know there's at least one.
Evil.
Sounds like it could have a lair nearby to the farm, to Bellathan's farm, so he could be in serious danger if it's taking up residence there. This doesn't sound good at all.
So I'm gonna, because they're my favorite critter.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna wisdom about, oh yeah. So 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 for me to know what type of evil dragon would be in a cave in that area. Statistically, rough guess.
Sure. So, I mean, when you look at all the plethora of facts that you have, you wonder if it wouldn't be a green dragon. It's semi-forested out there.
There wasn't a lot of fog around though, was there?
No. But you do know that green dragons will accept the servitude of creatures like goblinoids, kobolds, orcs. So that fits as well.
So I'm gonna say, like, it was getting dark, so we couldn't get in there to see it, but probably based on the lair it chose, it's gonna be a green dragon.
He just grabs the cleric's head, turns it to him, and goes, "Green dragon."
I got it. The money is 20 silver.
An evil green dragon.
We'll ask for 10 gold.
The guy who fainted is like hugging the paladin right now. Is like, that's terrifying.
I know. And he goes, boom, and casts heroism on him as well. Doesn't even realize who it is. I know. And they're no longer frightened when you have heroism cast on them. So I know.
It's like, that tingles.
You're welcome.
So Isabel, the sheriff, is like, this is very concerning. Why? I don't think we're going to solve the problem right now. Let's reconvene
Not
in the
in the
morning.
middle of the night with only us. I
Right.
agree.
Yeah, we definitely need 3 or 4 more people. Let's reconvene in the tavern in the morning, and then we'll discuss next steps.
That sounds good.
Perfect. Okay. I think the drinking contest is over, though. So,
The paladin, but he does reason goes, does anybody want to drink tonight?
No.
I mean, I think you're just going to have to go get rooms because they probably are on the closing side of things.
Okay.
Okay. But if you need anything in the morning, we can get some breakfast first. If you need to visit the shops, and then I'll be over in the morning after breakfast. Okay.
So in a
And she
quick
looks at
out of
Senju like
character,
obviously there'll be more payments for services rendered if I ask you to do something. Yes, I understand.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I need no money.
I'll take
and
that.
then I just point.
Perfect. All right. All right.
So the people in chat are confused. I think some people came in late. So the TLDR is the sheriff reported that there were some noises, and we were enlisted to aid in finding the noises. And through a comedy of events, the paladin believes that there are booted wolves. The rest of us know that there are goblins and wolves. And then we have all established that there is an evil green dragon.
And I have the most money. Yeah.
Yes.
It's the greediest cleric of all time.
If you haven't seen the
Have you met the
TikTok,
Catholic Church?
I mean, I'm with you.
there's this TikTok of types of clerics. There's like the clerics that do it for the the thanks and praise. There's the clerics that do it for their god, and there's the clerics that do it for the money. And they're the ones who are like, that hurts a lot, doesn't it? How much is in your pocket? Okay, you can have a lot of healing points, or okay, we're just gonna keep you from dying.
Oh, so you're an insurance company.
Yes, raised dead is covered for a certain fee.
Exactly. You're only on our healing 1 package.
Would you like to upgrade to cure moderate wounds? There's a monthly subscription service available.
Definitely. Keep all of these in mind.
Healing as a service. Boom. All right. So you guys go back to the
Healing as a
tavern,
service.
get a room, and some of you get some sleep.
Right. I would like to just do a couple of rituals right before I go to sleep, just to get more divinity.
What's that now?
I'd like to do a couple of more rituals before I sleep, just to get more divinity.
Okay.
Yeah. Money is placed prominently, so I get more money too.
Perfect.
So, thinking about green dragons before I go to bed, is there any particular bane or weapon or things that I think tomorrow morning at breakfast I should share with? I'm hoping the sheriff is sending some additional people with us, like the crew that's going to go dragon hunting.
So you know some background. This is something you've studied at the Ranger Academy. So you know that they're considered to be very cunning and treacherous. Some of the most cunning and treacherous of all the dragons, of all the chromatic dragons. They often will use misdirection and trickery. They're really into that sort of thing. And what often happens is, like, if there is a fight, they will sometimes pretend to surrender, pretend to back down, and like wait and then re-attack. You've heard that that's a common tactic as part of their trickery and misdirection in an actual
So
fight.
they'll just, they're evil and they'll flat out lie. So don't listen.
Right. And then you make another wisdom check.
Can I assist her with that?
Sure.
Please.
You can get advantage as well, since they're your favorite enemy.
Right. Let me roll.
That was worse. So I'll take that original roll.
I
I think
Do
you
I
get a
help?
plus
How
2
do I help?
from the assist.
right.
All right. So I get how much from the assist?
Plus 2.
10
10.
with the plus 2.
So it's
Thank
I
you.
mean, the cave isn't that big overall. So your instinct is that this could be a pretty young dragon, if that's what it really, I mean, if it's a dragon, like, it's probably fairly young.
that's. I mean, we're assuming there's not a second entrance to the cave, so I will maintain hope it's a young dragon.
All right.
That's what we're gonna go with.
Okay, so everybody does whatever else you need to do. Get some shut eye back at the tavern. Nothing crazy else happens that evening, so everybody's up in the morning. You have a little bit of time if you want to meet before you meet the sheriff. If you want to do anything, there's a handful of shops if anybody wants to see anything or go around town, but it's up to you.
So I would like to go around town.
Yeah, is
Okay.
there any place that would sell arrows?
There is the general store, and the other kind of interesting store in town is the alchemy store, but arrows are probably from the general store.
I'll check out and see if they have any like really good, aka masterwork, or like super fancy poisoned, a better than your usual arrow.
They actually do have some masterwork arrows in stock.
How much will the 5 gold from the drinking game buy me? 2.
Can I move around with the ranger and just, because I have a bad reputation, people won't try to rip my party members off. So that's not my intention, but they won't try to.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're able to get 10 arrows.
Sweet, I have 10 good arrows. I'm saving them for the dragon. They're not for the goblin.
That makes sense.
I asked the shop in a very gruff voice, do you have any dragon hunting equipment?
The guy's like, no. What? No. I have some special wood carving tools in stock and had those arrows, and we got
Maybe the alchemy shop will have something.
Right. I just don't even wait for his reply to complete. I just walk straight off to the direction of wherever the alchemy shop is.
okay. Thanks.
I say the niceties and politely end the transaction while he's already gone.
Okay. So yeah, the alchemy store is just like across the street basically. So it's run by a woman, an elf, Althania. Pretty nice but very small store. So she welcomes you in and asks if there's anything in particular that you're looking for. She says you don't look like alchemists. And that's because we only have like one in town and I know him. But I'd be happy to try to see if there's something I have for you.
And so I just look at her and say, give me the easiest thing that I could use to damage a green dragon. I know it's a green dragon, right? All right.
Yeah. She kind of looks at you. Not sure I have a lot off the top of my head for that purpose. I have some poison that could work, I suppose, to like put on a weapon.
Could it be applied to arrows?
Sure. Yeah, it could be applied to anything. Arrows, a spoon, whatever, the stew. These are all theoretical examples, and I, of course, would require, I'm just saying.
You would never recommend anyone use them.
I would never recommend this to poison your significant other.
All right. So I turn my head around to spot if the ranger is still doing the niceties with the other stall. And then just kind of make a hoarse shout, sort of. something like "Hey," and then just to catch her attention and say, "There's some poison arrow stuff here."
Nice.
And then in the same breath, I turn around and say, "How much will that be?" And in a very menacing voice, as menacing as I can pull off.
Make a charisma check.
Ooh. All right. All right. Let's go. All right. And then I hope my character sheet helps. So so I got a 6 on my on the roll.
A 6?
Yes.
What's your charisma modifier?
+1.
So 7.
Right.
Yeah, that's not that good. I mean, the 50 gold for the poison, it's pretty potent. I mean, I could make a weaker version and cut it and do it for 25, but I don't know, like I don't, it hasn't been tested on a dragon. We don't normally get that order here in Brookville.
I'm just gonna
Is
stare
there a
and-
dragon nearby? That would be very concerning.
Would that lower the price?
Yes, that's a good point. Is there a dragon near the town?
And then
She starts
I
screaming about a dragon in the town and losing her mind. And like some guy comes out from the back and he's like, What's going on? There's a dragon? I'm Paul. Is there? You have no idea who Paul is, just some guy from the back who just wandered out. She's like out through some back door screaming about that there's a dragon attacking the village.
Right. Did she so I ignore Paul. Did she leave out the poison? Or did she
Yeah,
at
it's on the
least point
counter.
it?
Is this
Yeah,
yours?
Can I pick it up? Yes.
Okay.
And I
Well,
just pick it up.
Good luck. We're closed.
What else can you give me?
We're closed. I need to shut. I need to go get her. Thank
All
you.
right. All right. And then I just turn around and I just hand over the thing to the ranger,
Okay.
and just without a word, just say poison, and then just and just keep walking. Try to see if there's a open weapons shop or something.
Yeah, they don't have like a weapon shop. The general store is about it.
All right. So that's it then.
Okay.
All right. So I guess we'll head to breakfast, and I will check to see if the short sword wielding folks would like me to coat the edges of their weapons with poison. Although I don't know how like glowing magicalness interferes with poison. Like, are they compatible? Do they like cancel? I don't understand how this works.
Well, the paladin is currently in the tavern, so we've if you guys head there, that's where he'll be.
Yeah, like I gotta go grab breakfast because the sheriff said that we would sync up at breakfast, so I assume that will be the tavern, unless there's like multiple breakfast joints.
No,
When you come in, you see the paladin, and he was already in like nice armor before. He is in the shiniest, almost mirror plated armor you've ever seen, and underneath is like his Sunday best outfit, just beautiful silks, and he's just standing one leg on the table, and he's just like, evil has no idea what's coming for it. He just has his sword in the air and he's waving it around. He takes a giant swig of his custom tankard with his name on the front of it. It says Jacon in Blaze. And he takes a giant swig, and you notice his armor now has a little hook for his cup. He just kind of clinks it right there and goes, just wait till my friends get here. Oh, there you are.
Wow. There's a pretty large crowd in the tavern at this point, including the alchemist lady, the elf, who's like has like a big crowd of people around her, and you definitely know that she's talking about the dragon that's attacking the village. And a few minutes later, then the sheriff walks in along with the mayor and like her 4 militia peasants. who have somewhat better fitting armor at the moment, but like Pete still looks like he got issued a child's extra small like leather, like it's just like it's covering like this much of his chest piece, and it's like a little arm plate like right here. It's very funny. And like he's carrying his sword like this in the sheath. He's just like carrying it like that. Yeah, you're a little worried about Pete.
I'm just literally gonna like take Pete's sword unless he resists and like attach it properly.
He's like, oh, that's right. That's how that works. We normally don't really need them.
You said the mayor was there?
Yeah, the mayor
Paladin walks up behind the mayor and slaps him on the back. It's a he, as Thomas, right? Yeah. Slaps him on the back and he was like, tell the people how we're going to slay the evil dragon.
He's like, good morning. So, thank you. Yes. It's very crowded in here today. Yes. So I didn't realize this would be public. So apparently, and everybody's sort of like listening, there may be a dragon, a monster creature.
Evil dragon.
Yes. Thank you. Nearby, but, and like several people start yelling, but these are unconfirmed but strong reports. Several of us
have seen wolves with little boots.
Will go investigate this immediately to make sure the town is safe, because your safety is my biggest concern, obviously. And you know that because we talked about this in the last election. So we will immediately go out, and we've armed a few other people with the surplus militia equipment we have that we stocked up on, which is what the corn tax was for, so that we could afford these weapons.
I'm definitely giving fictional robot like a look like this guy is sus. Like, I'm not saying it, but I'm giving her like that look.
The paladin's kind of behind smiling, but then he's kind of reached over and pouring into his own beer, his own tankard. He's just gonna. Yeah.
No one else is
and
behind the bar.
Yeah.
The moment the tax thing came up, the cleric is super excited. Is like, for us, we are being paid too.
Yes, we are hiring the best mercenaries in 100-mile radius. We called them in. They've already investigated this terrible problem that we will take care of today.
But I will not be taking your money.
And
that's all me.
Is committed. He's committed. We couldn't have asked for a better group of individuals.
J-Con is here for the people.
Yes. So don't worry. I would ask you to stay inside today if possible. If you don't need to be in the field, that's probably preferred. But by this evening, I think safety will be restored. I have full confidence in the safety of the village. It's my utmost priority.
Right. Did you like finish? Did the thing finish?
Yeah, and the innkeeper's like shooing everybody out who's basically not you all. So like he's telling all the townspeople to get out, and the bar is closed basically.
So I'll clear my throat and say, all of you are welcome to provide us with assistance, money. Weapons might work, but it needs to be on par. And then I point at the sword that the paladin has, right? And then it needs to be like this. Anything worse than this, don't get me a kitchen knife, folks. But money will help. And then I just do I have a bag or something, or is there something like a bag lying around? I just kind of hold it out. I have no.
I feel like this is going to be a charisma roll here, like for the street preacher with a bag. This is definitely
a charisma roll for the church tithes as the peasants leave the inn.
And as they're walking out, you just have the paladin being like, eat your vegetables, take your education seriously, and be kind to your fellow neighbor.
All right. Let's see. I got a roll, right? D20, right? Yeah. I got a 17 on this roll, and then what's my that's a +1, so 18.
18. You managed to like get 3 gold pieces from everyone that walked out, which is a lot for farming folk. So
All right, that's good. I'm happy.
a whole lot of like, thank goodness the church is here to protect us.
Yes. Just for good measure, I just cast light on top of each of their heads so they feel good.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, they really appreciated that. That was good.
Goes over to the cleric, pats him on the back, and goes, good work. Well done.
Our Lord and Savior will protect us from the dragon. All right. Isabella comes in and says, okay, so we obviously can pay you, but also we could probably just figure out the split if this is a dragon, because it probably has some treasure as well. We aren't that all wealthy of a town. So at the moment, we can give every one of you 10 gold, but we really just don't have any more than that available.
I don't need your gold.
I'll take that.
Thank you. So collectively, she like counts and she's like 40 gold for the group. However, you divided amongst yourselves is not my concern. I will go along with our militiamen and the mayor, but we really don't have a lot of other folks. We may be able to convince Bellathan to go. He is actually quite capable as a fighter, but it would be up to him. It is literally in his backyard.
Didn't he get bested by undead zombies? They
The
robbed
what?
him once. He told us zombies robbed him once.
They tried to, and they're dead.
Yeah.
That seems inaccurate.
He told us. He wouldn't lie.
I don't think
I think there was a understanding.
I don't think he
Malfunction.
He might have been confused.
On part of the paladin, right?
Well,
Yeah,
you don't have to
lots of
worry because those
malfunctions.
zombies, they're not coming back. I holy watered that whole farm.
That's excellent. I appreciate that.
Anything for the people.
Thank you. You're welcome back anytime.
Hope so.
She looks at Senshu.
That's
So
all right. I'm gonna bleed
The
you dry
subtle, you're not.
anyway. Yes. There won't be much left once I'm done with you guys.
we always welcome people of the cloth. So
Even
I
if we
think
don't
we
want
should
to.
head out immediately, because if there's in fact a dragon, like this is pretty serious. I think.
I agree. Let's go.
Perfect. All right.
Right.
If we could just wait maybe like a few more minutes. I think someone went to go get Pete armor that fit, but that should be here any moment.
Right. I just asked them, so the farmer is a half orc, right?
Correct.
Do they think? So I just asked them, do you have weapons that could allow us to recruit the half orc?
She's like, that's a good point. Like
Like
she
a
asked one of
big
the other
broadsword
militiamen,
or
she's like,
longsword.
go get the big sword that we don't use for anything. So that guy runs out. So Pete comes back with like slightly better fitting armor. It's like padded armor though. It's not even like leather. It's just like padded armor. And he still like has the leather piece like over the padded armor. It's not great. His belt and scabbard are still attached appropriately now though, and he has a small shield. And then the other guy like lugs this gigantic greatsword back with him that he can like barely pick up. It's like dragging along the floor as he comes into the tavern. This one? And she's like, yeah, that one. Is there a bigger sword, idiot? Like, of course, it's that one. All right. So you guys all start heading north.
Is it daytime?
Yeah. It's
So
like
when he walks
10
out of the tavern, you guys, it looked shiny before, but now that it's like a blinding shiny of how shiny the armor is that Jacon's wearing. It's just like almost like ridiculously like reflective.
Nice. Perfect. Okay. So you guys head up the road. The mayor's with you. He's kind of armored up to some degree. Clearly has at least some experience. He at least looks the part. Your 4 militia people who don't really look the part. The sheriff, who obviously knows what she's doing.
I mean, I feel like the militia should at least be able to deal with the goblins while we don't then have to.
The other 3 militia people seem okay. It's just really Pete that you're kind of worried about. It's just not his thing. Like, it's just, you're not really sure what the story is of how Pete became a militiaman, but you don't think it was his first choice. So you guys are walking towards the farm, and you don't have any problems getting there. And you actually see, Bellathim out taking care of the corn off a little ways. And he sees you all coming anyway, so he kind of walks over. He says,
I'm going to say good morning to him in Orcish and see if he replies in Orcish.
He does. He replies. He says, good morning in Orcish and smiles and says, like, you speak my language.
Yes, I do. And we found out what was making the noises. And I'm staying in Orcish because I'm wondering if he's slightly more versed in Orcish than common.
Gotcha. He says, was it the goblins?
So the goblins seem to be working with a green dragon. So we're, and I kind of point out everyone, going to go try and scare away the dragon and goblins, but we could use your help if you're willing to come. We brought a big sword, and I point at the big sword that somebody's schlepping.
He's like, I mean, sure. What's like a dragon?
So the cave entrance is pretty small, so unless there's a second entrance, we think it's a little dragon. But it still is a dragon.
An evil dragon.
That's bad.
Very bad.
Agree.
Okay.
Do you also have gold?
The dragon?
No, you, the orc. Do you have gold?
I think he has corn.
No.
The more important question is, have you seen any more zombies?
No.
Good. I did my job.
That's all right.
All right.
There's
He
nothing
takes
here.
the sword. Okay. I'll help.
Thank you. So then I kind of flip back to Common, and I'm like, he's willing to help, and let's go deal with the dragon.
Okay.
Excellent.
This
Show
way
us the
there
way.
is no misunderstanding. Like, he knows there's a dragon. And I start heading back. I have good memory for maps, apparently, so I head back the way we went yesterday.
You're pretty sure he's like humming some kind of lullaby about a little baby dragon. Like, little baby dragon sleeping in the woods. You're like, what is happening with the orc right now?
Like, I'm not sure whether he's gonna like try and turn the dragon into a pet or like I'm just gonna keep that in mind.
Right. A quick question. How big is the party at the moment? So other than the 5 adventurers?
Right. So it's you've got the half-orc farmer, the
Right.
sheriff, the mayor, and 4 militiamen.
And the others are all geared up, right? They're ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'd be standing at the back of all of these.
Yeah, I assume so. Yeah. Right. So that I can see everyone in case they need healing, obviously. Right. It's the best
right, right.
tactical advantage.
Right. Rear guard.
Yeah, rear guard for the medic.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. That's what I would do. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm kind of cozying up to the mayor because I heard tax, right? So
Right, because you want to protect the principal. I mean, generally that's how
Right.
physical security ops would go. Like, he's the main guy.
absolutely.
So yeah. Okay. So you guys head out and you're getting like towards the north. You know the way. It really wasn't all that far from the farm, and everyone can make a perception check
Keep your eyes peeled for wolves in boots.
for some shiny ass guy up front. I can't see anything.
15.
13.
13, 15,
8.
8,
6.
6. You're like the mayor.
Our armor is so blinding.
You're like hugging the mayor. Sir, are
Right.
you all right? Sir. 16 though. That was you, Nicole, with a 16?
15.
15? So you guys are walking forward, and you definitely, out of the corner of your eye, you're like, is that a bird? You definitely saw something in the air.
I, at that point, am going to like whip around and kind of do a double check. And while I'm looking, I'm going to be like, did you see that? Was that a bird or was that something else?
Pete falls down. Frank apparently
good
one of the other
going,
guys,
Pete.
runs into Pete. Wow, maybe we should switch dice. The sheriff, she's like, there, and points. And everybody's like, well, not Pete and Frank who fell down, but like everyone else is like, it's the dragon. And it's sort of like flying, and then like sort of lands in the general direction you're going, it seems like.
Right. I immediately cast resistance on myself and then the mayor.
It's a good plan.
And I hear whenever somebody said dragon, whoever's next to me, I grab both of them and cast heroism.
Nice. So that is Pete and the half orc.
Okay, so yeah, they just can't be frightened, and they have +4 to at temporary hit points.
Nice.
Yep.
Pete's like, that tingles again.
You're welcome. Be safe.
So since the mayor now pointed it out, if I look again, can I like approximately guess how far away said dragon landed?
Yeah, about 50 yards in front of you all in the direction you're headed. And that's probably only about another 50 yards to the cave at this point.
So probably like the landing helipad before his cave type situation.
Yeah.
All right, I am switching to the masterwork arrow, and I'm not like pulling it because then my arm would hurt, but I'm much more ready than I was.
Sure.
I don't have any aerial weapons, but I'm going to be looking around for those little goblins.
Yeah. All right. So you
And
guys
just remember, I poisoned your weapon at breakfast while Mayor was being Mayory.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's just laying the groundwork. And we got next election, next quarter. All right. So you guys continue to move up, and you go maybe like another 25 yards, and then you can actually see, because it's a little bit of a ridge that then drops down to where the cave entrance is. You guys can see the dragon, and it's not gigantic. It's like the size of a big lion, basically. And there's like 6 goblins and like 2 wolves, and they're just kind of like standing there as you guys like crest this ridge, and you can kind of see that that's what the view is. And the dragon just kind of like roars, but it's not gigantic. So it's like, "Rawr." Terrifying.
I mean, it is a dragon.
He knows that.
I don't see any wolves with boots, so I think we're safe.
It's good.
Right. Can I see the dragon?
Yeah, you can see the dragon. It's about the size of a lion, obviously with wings, but like its torso body is about the size of a lion. There's 6 goblins and about 4 wolves right around him.
Is it about within 60 feet of me?
It's about 30 yards away still. So what is that? Not three, that's 30.
Yeah, that's all right. So 30 yards is what? 90 feet. All right.
Yeah.
That's all right. All right, then I do nothing. I just stay behind the party.
Okay. So the dragon kind of roars one more time and says, it says some words. Does anybody speak
Draconic.
Why are you here? You've killed a wolf and some people. Why?
The farmlands here were being endangered by animals. So we went to go investigate the wolf and look for the dangers for this farm that grows food to feed the village, and ran into the goblins, and you are an evil dragon.
Evil!
That is debatable.
Where is
I
the
am
treasure?
I'm the
still in my
liar.
Formative years. He snarls. My
Do you
path
have
is
treasure?
chosen.
Oh, sorry. I know you can't understand me. I'm so sorry.
I mean, you can still ask, like, there's a dragon. Does he have treasure?
Did you
Yeah,
ask the dragon if he has treasure?
No. I nudged Nicole with my elbow. Nudge the ranger with my elbow and say, ask for treasure. Ask for treasure.
I mean, like, I don't think they just give it out. It's not like a vending machine. So, I mean, we either need you to relocate and be further away from the farms and things, or I think there's going to be a fight.
I am in no mood to fight. I am new here. You've brought a large group of people. The odds aren't in my favor.
I think the
I
dragon's lying.
have a proposition to settle the matter as to my relocation.
So I turn around and I whisper to the group, I'm like, he's offering to relocate, but I kind of give that look of, remember what I said earlier about, like, and then kind of turn back to finish listening. But I definitely gave, the paladin probably missed it, but everybody else I gave like the look of, remember breakfast when I said they double back.
I'd like
I
to.
offer a game of riddles, and if you answer them correctly, I will leave. It is a
What if
fair
we are
trade.
wrong?
There needs to be no further bloodshed.
I'd like to roll perception.
Okay?
Can I help her with that?
I don't think you can help with perception.
I get
There is a specific spell that clerics have, but I don't know if he has it.
Right.
That
I might
gives you
not
like
have any.
it gives you like a basically a +4
Like
to a
assist?
check.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a +4 to a check, and you can do it, I think, twice a day or something. I forget what it's called. Can you read out the things, spells that you have?
Yeah, I think would it be enhanced ability?
Yes.
No, right.
So like enhance ability would take one of the 6 stats and bump it up.
Right.
So for the next like couple minutes or whatever, everything related to that stat would bump. So that would definitely work. But
I'm not wasting that on her.
okay.
Well, I only got 7.
The only thing you perceive is that you swear that one of those wolves has boots on. That's very confusing. You're like, that can't be right.
That can't be
So-
right. I'm going to try again. Can I try again?
Okay.
She's gonna look a lot closer at that wolf.
What do you
I'm
see,
going
Will?
to-
Tell me.
Make that
I got 7 again.
I'm gonna explain the offer to the sheriff. The dragon is saying he'll find a different place to live if somebody bests him in some riddles.
But they're gonna be evil riddles. Be careful.
Do we
I
know what
mean-
happens if we fail?
She says, I think we should try. I mean, she's like, I mean, it's small, but it's a dragon. But like, Pete, like,
I mean, I guess it can't hurt to try.
right.
I'm not feeling real strong right now, so
And then I don't know how, maybe I know how good baby dragon hearing is. Not 100% sure, but I will mouth while facing her without like saying much at all. And if he goes back on it, we just stab him anyway.
Yeah,
Um,
the sheriff
Move
is
a bit
like,
closer.
So yeah, I'll flip around and I'll be like, okay, what are the rules for the riddle challenge?
yes, rules. Yes, of course. There should be rules. I've clearly thought this through beforehand. Yes. The rules are I will ask 3 riddles. You have to come to some consensus. Not everyone can. The large man can't just shout out an answer. And
So we have to all agree on an answer and then okay.
That seems fair. And if the 3 answers you get 3 correct, we will all leave and we will not bother this area again for 200 years.
Only Nicole can understand the dragon.
Dragon
Right?
years.
Yeah.
Did he switch to common? Or has he stayed draconic?
He's still in draconic.
All
So
right,
all we're hearing is just.
And so I'm like,
Roll.
and can you do the challenge in common so that everyone may participate?
He says, I will try. I am not that good, but I will do my best.
So I
And-
turn around and I'm like, it'll be 3 riddles that he'll say in common. And then we have to all agree on an answer. And if we get all 3 right, he will leave for 200 years.
Watch out for evil.
Did he say what happens if we don't get them right?
I turn around and I'm like, and if we get them wrong, you're just gonna stay here and keep scaring everybody? What else will happen?
Then the battle. I guess.
Okay. I guess.
Yes,
I mean,
that's the rule.
Okay. He seems very unsure about that, but if we get them wrong, then we fight.
we might have to fight anyway. So
So, I mean, at this point, we're just getting in some mental exercise first. Let's go. Maybe Pete's better at this than he is at the
Sounds
rest
good.
of it.
I love exercise. Let's go.
Can I keep checking around my surroundings to see if you're being flanked or not? I'm in the rear guard, right? So
Yeah,
I
need to
mean,
cover my
you're
ass.
supposed to be protecting the rear,
So I'm protecting my rear at the moment.
which then, by nature of your rear being our rear, we all benefit.
That's not my concern. I'll run away. I've got gold.
Somebody keep an eye. If he starts running, we all run.
All right, I'm gonna type in the first. I'll type in the riddle so that everybody can kind of see.
Right.
All right. I'm gonna take a quick break while you guys discuss that, and I'll be right back.
Out of character, I'm still wondering if the mayor's sketchy and we should let the dragon just eat him.
I mean, there's a resistance on him at the moment, but then if we decide to divide the tax 80-20, I could remove it from him. So off character, right? My character seems to be be chaotic neutral. And he's a worshipper of destructive weather. So
That's awesome.
All right. So some are cherished, some are hated, and even if lost, they remain with you.
Yeah, I didn't get the riddle.
It's in the public comments, not the private comments. So it's some are cherished, some are hated, and even if lost, they remain with you. At first, I kind of thought maybe it was like
Oh.
memories, but like memories, if lost, do they remain with you? Because if you forgot them, like I'm not sure. Probably something else.
yeah, I think memories should fit, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't get what the even if lost part means.
And that's the thing. That's why I'm wondering if it's not memories, maybe like experiences. Because like you can cherish an experience, you can hate an experience, but
Maybe you forgot the memory, but something else triggers it to remind you of it, so it still fits the answer.
maybe.
You know, like trauma.
So yeah, we'll see if Pete has any ideas. Otherwise, we have an idea. But you know, we're gonna check in with the sheriff and Pete and everyone. You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted now.
Jaycon, you want to roll a d20 for Pete?
And by the way, like they would have heard us mumbling, like we were mumbling about like experiences and memories, and so if that gives them good ideas or bad ideas.
Does he have
Okay.
anything to add to it?
Pete gets a +5.
So 17.
17. So what were your all ideas?
Like
Memories.
memories or experience. Yeah, memory.
Yeah. Pete agrees that memories might work.
All right, so if everybody kind of let's give that one a go.
Yeah, the mayor's like, yeah.
All right, memories.
Yes, that's correct.
Huzzah!
That is one riddle. I should why am I retyping all this?
Copy paste.
Yeah, like where's my master sheet of things? Yeah, this is way better.
I think we stumped the dragon.
The dragon's like, where are my riddles? Which
Dragon just
scroll?
scratching its face.
He
Like,
had
thinking.
actually bought like a book of riddles, and he's like looking
From
around
Pete.
for it.
Damn it, he didn't think this through.
I have nothing.
Stars?
I was gonna say stars too. That's the only thing that the falls keeps moving, but stars is the first thing that came to my mind as well.
Well, I mean, stars move through the sky, so I think it still fits.
Yep.
I
Seen,
does-
heard, or touched. Yeah. Stars. I'm on board with stars.
Should we ask Pete?
Well, yeah, let's check Pete. Maybe Pete has that riddle book. They read the same riddle book from the library.
The one riddle book in the town. It's gone missing. Jaycon, what did you get for Pete?
So you have a 15.
15?
Yep.
Pete's like, he's like, yeah, that makes sense to me too.
Next time we'll whisper in private.
What about the mayor?
Stars?
Can you ask the mayor?
You all are very smart.
Indeed, we eat our vegetables.
Or cheating somehow.
The Lord's Alliance never cheats.
Smells like cheating.
I don't think we could cheat with those goody two shoes.
Indeed. He turns around to everybody and goes, we only need one more. one more. He's just kind of walking around, pepping everybody up, kind of rubs some
You're like
shoulders.
cheerleading.
Yeah, he's going around going,
Bottom
focus
of the
now,
ninth.
focus. This is it.
Oh Lord. All right.
All of the other wild just see this giant, shiny metal guy walking around, just pumping people up. This is it. This is it. This is where we become heroes.
I have towns without people, forests without trees, and rivers without water. A map? A globe? A painting?
I think it's map.
Yeah. Map sounds good. Yep.
Let's ask the sheriff. She seems smarter than the mayor.
All right, Jake, you got to roll for the sheriff. Give me
It
a
was a
die.
natural one, so
A
do with it what you
natural
will.
one? She's like, I don't know about riddles. That's book things.
Alright, I guess Pete was the better. Pete was the better person to ask about riddles. All right, let's. Anybody object to maps?
No.
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 Map?
You're all cheating somehow. I know it. This is an unfair riddle game.
The
As soon
Lord
as-
Alliance never cheats.
As soon as he says that, I just pull up the masterwork arrow and I'll roll for initiative.
Oh, wow.
He looks very upset. He says, my army is withdrawing.
I will continue to be ready. I'm holding my action until they go away.
He switches back to Draconic. He says, we will find a better place to live. I promise. Come with me. Follow me. And he kind of takes off. And his goblins are all like, what's happening? All my things are still in here. So the wolves, we need the boots. They kept talking about them.
Make sure you take those wolves.
And I
goblins-
say, you can grab your stuff on the way out.
Like 2 of the goblins run in and like
They go to the cave?
get backpacks. Like it was pretty near the front. Yeah, 2 of
Oh,
them.
all
did.
right. Ah,
But yeah,
I thought it
they're-
did.
the dragon seems to just take off and fly away, and like everybody's booking it.
I will wait until they are definitely out of range, and I'll be like, I guess we get a dragon horde now?
The mayor's like, how did this work?
And I turn around and I'm like, I'm suspicious it's not going to work for long, but you might as well take the dragon's horde now while you still can.
Yes, let's
Yes, that's a good idea.
investigate.
We should investigate carefully in case there's more wolves with
Yes,
boots.
yes, of course. Be careful.
She said wolves with boots. Did she see some? And I
The
immediately.
paladin's running into the
Yeah,
cave.
I hit my
vanquish-
sword and it glows, or the bright glows, and it was like wolves with wolves with boots. Where are you?
I have 16 for investigate.
Okay, so the paladin's like running around the cave like a maniac. It
With
really
or
doesn't get
without like glowing
With glowing sword,
non-torch.
Yeah. At one point you banged your head because there was a low spot. You're fine. Fine. It's just a concussion. It's only like your 14th one. It's probably fine. Yeah, investigate. You go in there. You don't really see any like traps or anything. You're trying to be pretty careful looking around. There is a small-ish treasure pile in there. But yeah, I mean, it seems like it left. I mean, it was a pretty young dragon. So maybe it decided it wasn't going to win this matchup. Yeah, you guys get it. There's a pile of silver and gold and a couple miscellaneous things. Again, not like a huge amount. Based on your Rogel appraisal skills, you're guessing like the whole thing is maybe worth like 250 gold, which is like an incredible sum for most of you and the town. Even if you split it up, however you split it up, it's quite a bit of money.
I grabbed the treasure.
Same here.
Like putting it into a bag, squeezing it.
Pocket.
He's just holding the sword light in the air, and he's like, "The glory, the glory."
So you are the torch while the two of them are shoveling as fast as they can. I will take a small handful, and I expect the mayor's like all up in there.
Yeah, the mayor eventually comes in and is like, we must Pete, get the accounting ledger. And Pete like pulls out this book and like Quill, and like you realize like Pete's the smart one and is like reading and writing and arithmeticing and like has some ledger of like what's happening and starts jotting everything down. But it's done. You've saved the town from the dragon. And the farmer, Beltham, is very happy that all the goblins are gone and that the dragon is gone. He's a little sad about the dragon. You think like maybe he wanted to keep it somehow? Maybe he didn't really understand.
So I let him know like that green dragons sometimes don't always tell the truth, and they like to, tell you they're going to do something and then not do it. So if the green dragon comes back and he hears those same noises again, he could attempt to just tell the dragon, like, this is my cornfield, don't mess with it if you don't mind him being right there. But he's going to become a problem if he gets bigger because big green dragons eat people. So, like, I know he seems, small and harmless right now, but he could grow up and be a problem.
But sometimes dragons don't tell the truth. So dragon like mayor.
Yes, very much so.
Got it.
Yeah, they also like money, so just like mayor.
Very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sheriff nicer. Mayor, he smells fishy.
So yeah, like, the dragon might come back, and so you might need to pass a note on to the sheriff.
I will watch for the dragon. Thank you. He starts walking back to his farm.
The paladin actually reaches into a bag with a handful of gold coins that weren't from the treasure, and he just tosses them over to the farmer, and he goes, "For your troubles, my friend." And everybody notices that he happens to have on him a bag full of gold coins that he just pulled out of and just cinches it back up, puts it in there.
What dragon horde did you raid?
Dexterity checks.
Do you not know about my family? I'm rich.
Yes.
This explains so much.
What, you've never heard of a rich person just doing good to do good? It's crazy.
I would like to catch some of those coins, please. It's gold.
Yeah, you're like the farmer. Like takes some and like leaves a whole bunch of them behind, and you're like running over there.
Yeah. And he starts just handing out, and he goes, "I don't know how. I have way too much money as it is. Here, take. I have plenty." He just starts handing it off to you.
My family invented the wheel. All right, so
and he looks back and he goes, "How much money does a person need anyway?" And just kind of cinches it back.
Seriously.
Yep.
What could it possibly cost to get groceries? $500. All right. So Pete and the mayor finish accounting everything, and you guys.
Their accounting is definitely off because I think between Senju and fictional robot, there's a lot missing.
Yeah, it's
no. Jacon is adding to the stuff, and I'm collecting from it, so it's all right.
Right. At some point, the cleric manages to get a hold of some finely crafted necklace. And you're just you put it on thinking that would be less noticeable, but it's obviously more noticeable because it's a woman's necklace with a ruby in it that you weren't wearing before. And you're like, I've had this the whole time.
Yes, of course. It's a holy amulet.
Looks over and goes, "Now that's fashion."
It was just tucked in. All right, so you guys go back to the village, and everyone is super happy, and the townspeople are ecstatic, and there's a giant feast to celebrate the defeat of the dragon. And the tales, even by that evening, are ridiculous about how many goblins and wolves were slayed before the dragon backed down. And the mayor has this whole Pete's writing this giant poem thing that the mayor is telling him to write down about how he saved the town. So things are back to normal in Brookville, thanks to all of your efforts to get rid of the green dragon.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Thanks for hanging out and playing some D&D after the Dine Initiative.
Thank you for being the DM.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It's
was
a great
great.
spice.
All right. It was nice to meet all of you as well.
You as well.
So,
Thanks a lot.
all right. Take care,
Night
everyone. Have a
all.
good
Hey
evening.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.